Thank you, Joe. In August, we aired a story about Forest Park cemeteries, the number of complaints in recent years about tall grass, buried footstones, and dilapidated roads. We also told you about the new owner, Matthew Seiler, who bought the cemeteries in February and has been working to clean it up.
To try to understand how they got in this condition, we looked back at the last 20 years when those with loved ones buried in the cemeteries say they began a steep decline. Janet Magner has the story.
Forest Park East Cemetery is more than 100 years old, and many people with loved ones buried there will tell you it looks like it.
It's quite heartbreaking. You know, you see the tombstones fell over, and you see many about to fall over.
Forest Park East was founded in 1917. It wasn't until the 1950s that Forest Park West opened, and both became perpetual care cemeteries, which means the cemetery owner must put 10% of the sales of a burial plot in a trust fund for future maintenance. There are strict rules about how much can be withdrawn from the fund and how it can be spent. The combined trust funds for Forest Park East and West today hold $8 million. And families who bought plots at both sites have questions about whether the perpetual care money was spent properly. Bob Lomason purchased the cemeteries in 2004 and owned them until he sold them to Matthew Seiler earlier this year. He says he prioritized maintenance dollars by contributing even more to the fund than required.
In the 20 years that I've maintained Forest Park, we put 15% in. So we overfunded it for 20 years by 5%. So the fund has a lot more money in it today than it would have under statute, and which makes a huge difference to the lot owners in the future.
While records of the Louisiana Cemetery Board show this is true, minutes from the November 2009 board meeting show there were problems with what Lomason did with the money.
I went back through the Louisiana Cemetery Board minutes.
Okay.
And in 2009, it talked about that you were delinquent in your contributions to the Perpetual Care Fund, and that you also transferred $400,000 out, which you later transferred back in. Do you recall that? And are those?
Yeah. We were charging memorial care, and there was not a statute at that time to that we had to trust that. We did trust it, and we did take it out, but we put it right back in. So and we got fined by the cemetery board. So whatever the amount was that you just cited, we took out and put back in all within a period of time.
The Louisiana Cemetery Board members aren't the only ones who questioned Lomason's dealings. When James Lee Dick of Homer died in September of 2019, his family wanted his casket in a waterproof vault. Records show his wife purchased this vault from the Wilbert Vault Company for $3,833. But what she claimed she got was a cheaper substandard concrete box. She sued Forest Park. The suit was similar to one filed by the family of Joseph Latier. His children say they purchased a Wilbert vault for their father, but instead got a cheaper one that was not waterproof. Ken Ante was the attorney for both parties.
They both settled on terms that were very favorable to my clients.
Lomason says the vaults were different, but there was language in their contracts that allowed for substitutions of comparable products when needed.
There's many vault manufacturers, and again, some claim to be Cadillacs, some claim to be Volkswagens, but they're really all the same. One of the things in every sales contract, it calls for substitution. That substitution is permitted of like and equal value, and in every one of these cases, we did provide a burial vault of like or similar quality.
Despite the size of the trust fund, Lomason says it was not enough money when considering the age, size, and workforce issues he faced in maintaining the cemeteries. But, he says, he hopes the new owner, Matthew Seiler, is able to make the improvements that locals want to see.
I'm sorry if I disappointed any of those folks during my stewardship, because that was never my intent. My intent always was to deliver a quality product to the families of Shreveport, and I believe we did the best that we could under the circumstances that we were dealt with.
For KTBS 3 News, I'm Johnette Magner.
The Louisiana Cemetery Board's next meeting is in November. We're told there are some unresolved complaints about the condition of the cemeteries that may be discussed. The complaints were filed last year while Lomason still owned the properties.